Why does Neon Genesis Evangelion get so weird over time? And why are there so many religious symbols that are hard to interpret? I think there's actually a very important reason for this, and the Bible can help us understand. Let me explain. I'm Father Roderick, I'm a priest, and I'm a geek, and I love to share with you the deeper meaning and the deeper layers of the stories that we like. So there is a lot of ambiguity in NGE. Almost nothing is explained right away, and we are constantly forced to try to interpret and try to understand what we see. Even Shinji Ikari seems to be clueless. He keeps asking, why am I here? Now this is actually an important characteristic of this type of story. This, I think, is apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic fiction. What does that mean? When you hear the word apocalypse, you may first think of disastrous cataclysmic events that destroy the world, like the massive catastrophe in NGE that is referred to as the Second Impact that killed billions of people, apparently. But the word doesn't really mean disaster. In Greek, it originally means revelation or uncovering. And this is important for NGE as well. The disasters in the story, like the attack by the angels, are meant to reveal something about the future of the world, about life, and about ourselves. This apocalyptic genre is very old, and it exists in many different cultures. You find the earliest examples in Jewish works, like the book of Daniel in the Bible, written about 2 centuries before Christ. Now, this book is interesting. It recounts a number of visions in which a number of terrible beasts are emerging from the sea and then are battled and slain by someone called the Son of Man. Sounds familiar? Now you may know that the last book of the Bible is also called the Book of Revelation or Apocalypse, and it is written in this same apocalyptic genre. It's a very wacky, puzzling tale full of strange creatures and bizarre events, monsters, cryptic language, and yes, full of angels too. These texts are not meant to describe factual events. The language is esoteric and ambiguous on purpose. You, as a reader, are invited to seek understanding, to interpret, to think about the future, and to think about your own role in history. Shinji's question, why am I here, is exactly the question that we are supposed to ask ourselves. It is interesting to see that the apocalyptic stories emerge often in history in times of change, of unrest, of crisis. And maybe that is why so many recent books, TV series, and movies take place in a post-apocalyptic world. They reflect our attempts to find meaning to our existence when we feel threatened. What is my purpose? What role should I play? What is messed up in this world? What is messed up in myself that I need to address to change the future? It strikes me how much the battles in NGE feel like metaphors of the inner battle of Shinji with the traumas of his past. And even though Shinji sometimes tries to run away from this confrontation, he will have to fight. He will have to fight the angels, but also his inner demons, to find peace and healing. Now, we know from our own experience how hard, confusing, and complicated that journey can be, just like the story of this series. By the way, I'm developing more of my thoughts in a book that I'm writing, and I share the chapters for free in my email newsletter, so if you're interested, get on my email list at fatherroderick.com/newsletter. Don't worry if you don't understand what's going on in this series. I don't either. But sharing my thoughts on what the story evokes in me, and you adding your thoughts in the comments, is exactly what these stories want us to do. Follow for more.